All right, family, it's Michael Baisden. I'm here in Lauderhill at the Performing Arts Center with the commissioner. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Margaret Bates, Commissioner in the City of Lauderhill.
All right, commissioner, and this young lady is going to be interviewing me.
Hi, I'm Nicole Ray, representing for the West Side Gazette, Broward County's oldest and largest African-American newspaper.
West Side? And you are the photographer?
Yes, I'm Marie Esteban, representing with Website Gazette.
She's talking real fast because she think I'm moving on.
'Cause I'm
And the
nervous.
Sarge is giving me the bodyguard. What's up, Sarge?
How you doing? It's Sergeant Chauncey Sims, Lauderhill Police Department, taking care of Mr. Baisden today.
Looking like my boy Derek Faulkner from Chicago, but it's all good. All right, so Sarge is going to videotape this for us. Thank you, Sarge.
No problem.
All right. Okay, so, excuse me, young lady. What's your question?
You're not going to talk to the commissioner?
Oh, you want me to talk to the commissioner? I thought you had some interview
I do.
questions. for me.
I do have some questions. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, you were very instrumental on radio.
Hold on, let me get my intellectual thing going on here. I'm a professional. Okay.
As far as helping former President Barack Obama with his campaign, and I just wanted to get your views on the black press and radio when it comes to like helping with political views.
Well, what's really interesting is that I really haven't been listening to a lot of radio. I read a lot and I watch a lot of television. I don't know what the impact was of the election on black radio because I really wasn't paying attention to it. I was busy mentoring some young men down in Orlando. At Evans High School, by the way, shout out to teacher Jarvis Wheeler and all the other mentors who helped me mentor our 24 young men who are now all graduated, have scholarships, and on their way to being successful. I know, not I hope, but I know. So I'm not sure how effective radio was without me being there. Do I believe that Hillary would have won had I been on? Of course I do, ladies.
Well, you are very instrumental with Barack Obama, so I want to say congratulations. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you, because you were very instrumental. You were the voice for African Americans when it came to Barack Obama. I mean, and it's been amazing. So we just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
And we're ready. We're ready. We're happy that you're back.
Yes, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we can announce that we will be coming on radio here in Miami on Hot 105. I can't mention any other stations at this time, but we're going to continue to grow our audience back. We were on 80 stations at one time.
Okay.
So now we're on, I think, close to 30, and we're going to continue to build and grow until we get beyond 80 and beyond. That's my
on
goal.
your social media, I see you guys are promoting the app.
Yes.
So you're promoting the app a lot. So what is
yeah.
the difference right now with you promoting the app and you're going syndicated?
Well, when you're on 80 stations and now you're only on 30, there's a lot of people who can't hear the show. So for me, it was very important that they have a direct link to the Michael Baisden Show, which social media, of course, that's one link. And thank you to all my Facebook family. You guys have been with me since day one. We started out with 200,000 people on Facebook when I left radio, and now we're up to 4.2 million. And that's without me being on radio, which I think is a real testament to our relationship, the way I've been able to build my relationships with people on social media, which, as you know, is very important now.
Very important,
Yeah.
very important. I actually seen on your website, and actually on Michael Baisden Live, you guys shared you shared an article about Coretta Scott King, how she was convinced that Martin Luther King Jr. was faithful to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a very interesting article since you are the man of grown folks radio.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? I read the article. Did you get a chance to read it?
I'm not touching that, ladies and gentlemen. Next question. No, I'm not touching Coretta. I love me some Coretta Scott King.
Of course, we want to protect their legacy. So, what do you say to men out there when it comes to being a man and when it comes to cheating? We know that it's a real topic for grown folks.
She went there.
No matter if you are a police chief, no matter if you're on the radio, no matter if you're a senator, it's a real topic. It's a real topic.
Let me tell you why this is easy for me, and why I want it to become easy for a lot of men. We actually have a new feature that you all haven't heard yet on the show called Tell the Truth Tuesday. And one of the things I'm trying to encourage, and I always tell my young men in my mentoring class, integrity is the number one thing. Without that, the foundation of whatever you build, whether it's business, whether it's relationship, it's going nowhere. And I know the ladies are so discouraged because you hear men talk about this all the time. You hear preachers talk about it all the time. And ultimately, something comes out.
Admitted that.
Don't start.
Okay.
Don't start. But really, it's got to be very disappointing for a lot of mature women that whenever you hear this from men, you ultimately find out some dark secret that they had. And it's one thing that I pride myself in is that I don't have any dark secrets. I'm a very outspoken person. I don't promise women monogamy when I meet them because we haven't had a chance to develop our relationship. So there's no cheating. And I think for a lot of men, I think we're in a rush to promise monogamy because we know that selling that fantasy to women many times disarms them and opens them up emotionally to us. And I don't think that we need to do that necessarily. Everybody says that friendship comes first, then why aren't we trying to develop the friendship? And
do you think cheating is a lack of character for men?
It's not
Or
only a lack
something
of
you're
character.
ashamed of?
I'll tell you something. This may be deep for you.
Because I'm young?
Not because you're young, because we haven't heard this before. No one
Okay.
said what I'm going to say to you.
Oh,
Is that when you're a man with options, and when you're a man that's comfortable being alone, that's something, I think men have a problem being alone. That's something that people don't talk about. So for me, not being able to get that ideal woman or open her up, or more importantly, we want the woman to be exclusive to us. So we're trying to gain her exclusivity. So by promising her ours, we hope to achieve hers and to keep her from getting with another man. So for me, because I'm not in a rush to force her to stop being intimate with other men, that's her choice. It shouldn't take me promising her to be monogamous for her to be monogamous. And I think that's a lot of men's mistake. And if she was if she's a woman who of high caliber, then she's already, which is the only thing I'm interested in choosing, then she's not readily available for a bunch of men anyway. So I can take my time with her and develop our relationship without having to promise her monogamy in order to obtain her fidelity. And I think that's a problem with a lot of men. We're rushing to take her off the market, so we're going to tell her this lie to make sure nobody else gets their hands on it.
Don't you think trust has a play in that?
That's where it all comes from. I mean, when the lies start, then it's a snowball effect. Once you tell that first lie, then it evolves into many other lies. And to be perfectly honest with you, men and women who are busy don't have time. The time factor becomes a very important thing as you mature. You have children, you have business, sometimes you have sick parents. I don't have time to worry about whether or not I cleaned up after the last woman, or whether or not I told you I was going to be someplace else. That's a distraction for a mature person, whether it be a man or a woman, and we just don't have time for it.
Awesome.
What creates, you brought to me, being a matured woman, what drives a man to cheating? If you have a wife at home, this was a person whom you stood before man and God and said that you want to be with this person for the rest of your life. This person supposedly is a part of your life.
I know where you're coming from.
Okay.
That's a simple answer. Men don't see commitment and monogamy as the same thing. I can still be committed to you as a man and still be intimately involved with other women. So for a lot of men, this is the way I'm telling. Don't give me this. I'm just telling. This is the way that we justify it as men sometimes, and so do women who cheat. Their attitude is, I'm still committed to the relationship. The love is still there, maybe, but I still have my feelings and my interests with someone else. So we separate the two.
Okay, is there a difference between being in love with someone and loving someone?
Is that really important?
Yeah.
Because the only thing I really see that I think for women that you all are more concerned about that. Ultimately, what matters is whether or not whatever that man is feeling is being communicated to you, so you can make a choice. Whatever he's feeling, whether it's love or in love, you want to know whatever that feeling is, so you can have a choice to be involved or not to be involved. Because that's very semantic. That's semantics. Love, in love. Is that really what's important to women, or is honesty and being given a choice based on that honesty what's important to women? It's like men arguing whether or not.
Comment, Facebook Live.
Well, it's an argument that's almost a waste of time, because no matter how a person feels, if they communicate it to you honestly, then you have a choice to be involved or not. Honesty is the foundation of everything.
Speaking of honesty, and we're talking about love, I want to know more about the Black love as far as our community. You have a mentoring group, and it's doing very well. We need more groups such as yours, and I'm looking forward to your group expanding. But with all of the things that's going on statistically in the Black African American communities, it looks like to the media, and if you live in certain urban areas, that we are not progressing as a Black voice when it comes to Black love. And I just wanted to get your view on that.
I think that we are progressing, because Black women are getting education.
I said it seems like we're not.
We are because the negative is always being promoted, right? So Black women are continue to get education. Black women are continue to buy homes. Black women are continue to raise a family. What happens now, and this is something that is true across the spectrum of all women, there's now more single women in America than there's ever been in history. That means there's more single people than married people. So the reality is, as women become more educated, as women become more entrepreneurial, they don't necessarily feel the need to be married. So now it becomes a challenge of understanding how roles have changed. And boy, have roles changed for white men, for Latino men. Oh, my Latino brothers, I really run into it the same way African American men are, because you're not the man just because you have man parts, okay?
Right.
You have to be the man because you've demonstrated leadership, demonstration. Not just because I'm a man. Now there has to be a record. There has to be a history. There has to be some experience of leadership. And if we don't have that as men, then women's attitude is, look, I've already been taking care of the kids. I've already started my business. I've already gone to school. I'm reading books. Women travel more than men do. Read more than men do. When women start having more information than men, we're in trouble. Because now we're not a resource for you.
Understood.
Then the question becomes, what do you need us for? And I think that question is becoming a more difficult one to answer. And I think that's where the problem lies.
What is your encouragement to community leaders in urban areas, as well as just our youth, new millenniums and the generation under? What is your encouragement?
I'm encouraged. The Black Lives Matter movement, to me, after we did Gina Six and Trayvon and traveled around the country for the 1 Million Mentors Tour, I was a little worried when we went off of radio whether or not there would be other leaders. And there's always been leaders in the community, whether it be church leaders, and I work with some really cool young pastors, okay? So my issue sometimes are with the old heads who don't want to let go of the power and influence to the younger men, and that's part of our problem in the community. We got too many old brothers holding on and not giving the young men an opportunity. So for me, yes, I'm very encouraged. The Black Lives Matter movement, which is not just black people, okay, to see them out there protesting the way they did over the years with the Ferguson incident and all the other things that happened, all these shootings, that brought me back to radio. I'm not here because I wanted to get paid. I'm here because of all those shootings over the summer. And I called my manager after the Sterling shooting and said, we got to get back on. I'm done. No more reading and mentoring. The mentoring had been done. The boys had graduated. I said, it's time to get back to work. So I'm very encouraged by what's happening with these young men and women out here, men and women who are leaders. Because we got a lot of sisters who are standing up as well.
If it's one thing that you would say that we need to hold ourselves accountable for as a community to live out Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy, what would you say that would be?
Choices. Be accountable for our choices. You know, there's nobody's fault. The white man didn't make you choose this. The system didn't make you not take care of your children. They didn't choose your baby daddy or the woman you chose to have a child with. I mean, accountability has always been the number one issue for all of us, I think. Being able to say, that's on me. Because you can't fix it if it's somebody else's problem. So for me, it's always on me. When something happens in my life, it's on me. And then I can go about the business of trying to resolve it.
What do you think about people, but with the young men? I've come across some young men. They blame society for their ills in life. They don't want to take responsibility of the fact that, okay, I got hooked on drugs. Why did I get hooked on drugs? Because you...
I sympathize with them. Yeah. As a mentor, and as a man who understands the importance of mentoring, for me to expect a young man to find his own way is difficult. Young men need mentors. I need a mentor. I'm 53 years old. Sarge back there needs a mentor. We all need mentors as men. And that's part of the problem, is that it's not enough of a distinction between a 50-year-old man and a 25-year-old man. And I said that earlier in a video that I posted, is that there should be a distinct difference between a 20-year-old man and a 30-year-old man, a 30-year-old man and a 40-year-old man. There's not enough examples. Men, more than any other gender, we learn from examples. We really have to see it. And I'm an author because I saw Terry McMillan be an author. I'm a leader because I saw Malcolm as a leader. So I emulated these people. So who are they emulating?
And that's why it's so important for us to have, as more leaders rise, for us to hold them accountable, to go back and show your community, get involved. And
mentorship is the way.
Everything.
It's the way.
Everything.
It is the way. Now we're going to wrap this up so I can get to the actual speech. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you all for having me. I really do appreciate it. It's great being back.
I wish we could have announced that you were coming back to South Florida.
We just got the deal done, but we'll be back on the radio here real soon. And thank you for having me. Probably about 3 weeks.
In about
I can
3
just
weeks,
say
you'll
about
be
3
back?
weeks. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
What time slot will you be in?
Same spot, 3 to 7.
Oh.
Where I belong. Back home, baby. Grown Folks Radio is back.
And what is that going to be more like? It's going to be
Well, guess what? I can announce this to all of you all in Miami.
Okay.
Tamara G is on the Michael Baisden show.
All right.
So
wow.
most everybody knows that already. We put out the release, so it's just great to have her on the part of the show with me and George. We give her a hard time, but Tamara can handle it, trust me. So it's great to be back.
Congratulations, Tamara.
Yeah.
We're happy.
Thank
to
you
have
all so much.
Congratulations.
Bye, Facebook family.
Bye.
Just look at